Hello and welcome back to Out of Spec BITS. Jordan and I had an awesome time in San Francisco to learn more about Cadillac's Optiq and Escalade IQ and IQL. You'll see that Escalade IQ and IQL video with the interior and exterior designers pretty soon, but the Optiq, this is Cadillac's entry-level model into their IQ series. The Optiq, the Lyriq, the Vistic, Escalade IQ. Now, the average age of a Cadillac buyer is like 54, 55. With the Optiq, they're targeting younger generations. Imagine Gen Z, millennials, who will be getting their first luxury vehicle. And so this will be that, an entry-level vehicle for that demographic of buyer. So we had an awesome time speaking with the design manager of the Optiq, as well as Nina, who is a leader in the material, color, and finishes of the interior of the vehicle. So less of me talking, let's just jump right into it.
We have Hoon Kim here. What is your role with Cadillac?
So my role is exterior design manager in Cadillac Design Studio.
That's kind of a fun job.
Yeah, oh yes it is, especially a project like this.
Right, and Cadillac notably has, I think, one of the most cohesive designs of across the brand, especially with all of the IQ cars. So today we are looking at the Optiq, which is kind of the entry, it's like an entry flagship. You have like Escalade IQ is like top flagship, but this is going to be, I think, a huge seller. It's the most affordable Cadillac, but still a premium vehicle. You throw all these things in as standard, Super Cruise, Dolby Atmos, all the fun things that excite me. But what also intrigues me is design. So I wanted to get kind of your impression as a designer. What were you given like as a direction, and how did it come to this?
Sure. Yeah, so as you mentioned about entry level, but yeah, we think of it as a vehicle that brings younger people into the Cadillac showroom. So that's kind of the thought, a big picture behind this Optiq. And to achieve that goal, to attract to the younger buyers, we thought the persona has to be different than other larger Cadillacs that we've been doing for 4 years.
Right.
So Optiq's focus is definitely the sporty, youthful, fun to drive, engaging to drive. That was the persona of the Optiq that we set in the beginning of the program. What made this program really fun was usually when we get the project and design studios, we typically go through hundreds of sketches, setting up many different bandwidths, make sure to cover from sporty, youthful to simple, graceful, kind of visually quiet. Sometimes it's tough. Sometimes we go all the way to more bold and just aesthetically chunky in a way, and in a cool way. But with the Optiq, because we learned in the beginning of the program how exciting this car will be to drive, we really focused on the sportiness really quickly.
Right, so from a design perspective, what to you makes it sporty and also youthful? How do you attract that buyer?
So I think we start with the proportion, always. But this architecture that gave us the great proportion even in the beginning. By when working with John's engineering team, they told us about the feel of the drive. You're going to get an awesome car to drive. But visually, where they put the wheels and tires, all the way out to the corners, the width, relationship to where the windows are, when you look at all that in harmony, it was a great setup to create this amazing stance that for us, it was a perfect canvas to create a really sporty vehicle.
Right, and so I guess this being an electric architecture, I mean, what did that give you beyond the previous combustion cars as far as a new way to approach this aesthetic?
So I'm sure there's a lot of more flexibility by working with the EV architecture that's given by engineering. Our engineering team did such a wonderful job. They really opened up their mind and started from a clean piece of sheet of paper to give us the flexibility, again, where the wheels are, tires are, the width, the length, overhangs, and the vertical dimensions as well. We typically for sporty vehicle, we of course want to do a slimmer, lower upper relative to the rest of the car. So all that really worked out, and those are the benefit from doing an EV.
Right. It's super interesting. And you have, visually for our watchers here, we have visually, this one is more of the luxury trim. You kind of have luxury and sport. And it is a good approach because you are, like you said, you're trying to attract a younger and sporty audience, but you also have this Cadillac ethos, which has been luxury for a long time. So balancing that, is that what determined this kind of split of two different visual trim options?
That's right. Well, both luxury option and sport option are sporty compared to other entries that we offer in Cadillac showroom. But yes, we even dissected that more in detail between the two to make sure basically what it is, all the bright work that goes on the luxury goes dark on sport. That's a trend that we see in the market.
Right.
Younger buyer, they're more acceptive to this generally darker appearance and the highlights of the body color, and lighting, and the animation that we have put in, then a little bit more familiar look with all the bright pieces remain bright.
Right. And we'll have B-roll to go over the top of this, but basically the grille is also a little bit different. You have the luxury with like the slim splines of design, which does emanate, luxury. And then what was the inspiration of the sport grille?
Well, sport grille is we had to work with the same
shape,
hardware,
basically.
right?
Yeah.
And we developed the pattern that's most different from the luxury grille. That was really the only reason why they are different. But that pattern we found, and it's also darker. It's not just a different shape. It's also darker than the luxury grille.
Right.
Those stripes. And we just made sure there's a good harmony between that pattern and the color with all these other darker pieces around the Optiq.
Right, yeah, we see a lot of people in the industry taking delivery of a car, immediately going to a tint shop, blacking out all the chrome. That's like the younger buyer.
It's fun. It's fun to those.
So it is nice.
And it just works visually.
Yeah, so it is nice to have that option from the factory.
Yeah.
Was there any other differences between sport and luxury as far as is the animation of lighting that embraces you as you go up into the car and then says goodbye as you leave? Are those different, or is that the same across the board?
Animation is identical.
Okay.
That's a brand identity that we're building in the showroom. So there's definitely a brand consistency, how we use the animation for all of our Cadillacs. We always start with highlighting the crest emblem, and it washes through the grille, goes into the horizontal turn, and it always lands at the vertical lamps, which is a signature for Cadillac. Same thing with the tail lamp, start from the bottom or the top. This one, it goes from the center and they wash both ways, because the theme of the Optiq kind of lends itself to that way. Some of the other Cadillacs are slightly different, but it really highlights the vertical.
Is that the designers or the engineers, or I guess both? Who decides what it does?
To execute what we visualize, it definitely has to be a teamwork with the engineering. They enable our vision. But to set the vision, yes, it is the design studio that come up with the ideas. And we also will work with the marketing to make sure that, to understand what customers are expecting.
Right, that makes sense. So yeah, was there any severe challenges with making this more sporty and almost more youthful while still tying in really well with the rest of the brand? Because they all do look cohesive. I mean, you got Lyriq, Vistiq, Escalade IQ, even Celestiq. They all look like Cadillac, and what drives that? Is it the front shield and the vertical taillights?
Yes, there are distinctive brand cues like what we're in, but we don't prescribe everything because it kind of limits the creativity in the design team. So we don't want to do that. But there's only just maybe a 2 or 3 things like what you mentioned about the shield, the grille, vertical signatures in 4 corners, and then the only other thing is just dynamic side view. And the proportion. Everything else is we keep the designers really loose to create something cool like this.
And from the EV side of things, I mean, it's noteworthy that creating a box is less efficient than something with more curves, more aerodynamic shapes. I did. Growing up, I was always like, wow, Cadillac's the cool kind of boxy. I think of the Escalade, the older Escalade, of just like, it is a box on wheels and it's got that American oomph to it. Was that hard to kind of work within the I'd say the sculpted angular lines of Cadillac while still being a efficient shape, because you don't want to sacrifice efficiency because then the engineers will get upset.
Well, that's part of the fun actually, but
Right.
well, there's a misperception I think in the market about the square or boxy vehicles are less aerodynamic, but it's actually partially untrue. There are many tricks and the knowledges that our engineering, aero engineering team has built on that they use to make everything that we do is aerodynamically correct.
Right.
Because every vehicle has different goals for the range, and everything has to work towards that goal. And shape of the vehicle is not an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one was maybe easier than Escalade, I guess, if you just compare number to number, but that's
Right.
not what we're paying attention to. What we're paying attention to is each vehicle has its own shape and what's right for that customer. And then it's our job collectively to meet our goals for the aero.
Right. As a designer, I mean, we've lived in this world of internal combustion engine for decades and decades, and through that, we've developed this shape that is, engine was up here, so that's where the engine goes, then the cabin sits behind that. Is there more things you would like, maybe the industry as a whole, to, including Cadillac, to push towards now that we don't have those limitations? Because we do have a bigger battery now, the wheels can be pushed further to the edges, and you do see, I guess, you don't necessarily need all of the space that
That's
you
right.
would have before with a huge engine.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there anything that you'd like to take advantage of as a designer now that we are in this EV forward mindset?
Yeah. I mean, you're touching on an excellent subject. Without telling you everything that we're doing today in Design Studio, yes, it does open up a lot of possibilities. But there's this, for a brand like Cadillac, there is definitely a certain proportion and a shape that our customers love. So far, we're definitely listening to the customers. That's why we did the Celestiq, which has long dash to axle, long hood.
Yeah.
It's epitome of a premium proportion. That's why we did that vehicle. Escalade, even IQ, that we're staying with that proportion. Slightly different feel, but Escalade has to be Escalade.
Yeah.
This is another one that has to actually aesthetically, it has to do everything right for a lot of people. Because again, we have to attract the new buyers into the showroom. So we didn't take a lot of risk on proportion for Optiq. That's why we focused on the shape, detail to create this sporty persona.
Right. Well, it's a challenge for sure to try to appeal to so many people, but I'd
That's
say
right.
the optics are looking good.
Thank you very much.
So let's also look at, like you said, the vertical lighting, which is crucial to Cadillac, and it's
Yes.
literally blades in this car, which looks really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's clearly a design element as well.
Yeah.
And so I guess we can talk lighting, but also the interesting rear window strakes. I don't know, what would you call this?
So we call it Cadillac precision pattern.
Okay.
So if you look at that pattern versus the details on the Cadillac emblem, there's some similarity.
Right.
So we take the emblem shape and detail, take a more abstract way of echoing that pattern around the car, interior and exterior. And then we, to do that on the exterior, we chose this quarter window to do that. So early on, again, on the program, we learned that this window, along with every window on the Optiq has a dual pane.
Yeah.
That's to keep the interior quiet. So when we heard that, we talked with John and, well, can we take advantage of that? We have this, we have this precision pattern from emblem that we want to put somewhere. Can we take advantage of that and laminate it in between the two panes?
Okay.
That's what we did. And another Easter egg that we had on this, you can see some of this pattern peeking through the transparent part of the window from the interior.
Right.
So if you feel free to open the door and kind of take a peek at that area on the other side.
Yeah, I see a shadow basically casting itself.
Right, and it also works in harmony with the speaker grille. That's just the rearward of it.
Right, yeah.
So
Yeah,
those
super,
are the fun details that we have.
super
paid attention
interesting. Do any other cars have this at the moment, or is this maybe a motif that might continue?
Yeah, we're looking at many options in our other products. Currently, we have this pattern on Optiq and also the 3-row V-stick.
Right. Yeah. Which that thing looks good too.
Yep.
And it does kind of continue into the
You got
tail
it.
light bar.
Yeah, that was the exact intent. When the light is off, you can see it even better. But even the color of the texture that's in the tail lamp blade to this, they are perfectly matched. So it gives you the illusion of this goes through in and back out again into the tail lamp. That was the exact intent. I'm glad you caught it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess basically the other lamps down here,
Right.
they kind of do continue the same motif. So it's like the whole car is just doing that.
With the fin, yeah, exactly. And another thing about these tail lamps, when you look at the Optiq from far distance, you're going to see the upper lamp, middle lamp, and the tire. They all work together visually.
Yeah, because the wheels naturally have some sort of camber.
Camber, right. So we spent some time to really perfect those 3 elements working together visually. It really helps to create this awesome stance from the rear.
Yeah, it makes sense. As a designer, a lot of concept cars, omit door handles, omit mirrors. How do you incorporate? I mean, these door handles are clearly a flush situation that do pop out to grab, which is nice. You don't have to fiddle with trying to get it open. And the mirror itself, I mean, I guess, can we talk about the challenges with that and also maybe what you could take advantage of?
Well, the flush handles are just wonderful.
They're ideal for a designer and aerodynamics.
Exactly, because it helps us, for that, and then we don't have to worry about finding those extra counts elsewhere in the car because we get that benefit from flush handle, and they look nice.
Was this a design idea to have them almost do the suicide opening method instead of the other way?
Yes, so there were many studies of that too, but I'm currently driving the Optiq as well. And I find this way of opening is perfect. Just ergonomically, it's a lot more comfortable than the other way around. So I'm glad. I mean, I can't take credit for that, but our human factors and engineering department did a wonderful job. To just really perfect it.
It makes sense because you are standing on this side of the door.
Right.
So as you open it, it becomes more perpendicular to you.
So you don't have to twist your wrist as much.
Otherwise, you're twisting your wrist and it slides off.
Yep, you got it.
And then the mirrors are also two-tone. Is that across all trims, all colorways?
That's right. When you look at, depends on the body color, but when you look at the Optiq from, again, far distance from the side view, that line, that graphic breakup works with the belt line.
Right.
So a lot of lighting situation, that mirror head just kind of blends into the window. It kind of goes away, and what's left is this slim wing. That was our intent. It does work.
Right. The wing reminds me of, in some of the European markets where it is just a small
camera
wing
mirrors,
with a camera.
Yes. Oh, we love to get those.
Maybe the U.S. will catch up some days. Are there any, adaptive lighting situations? We're starting to see over in Europe, of course, they have the matrix LED type things.
Correct.
Is that something this car has or might see in the future?
The high beam is always on. You can turn it off, but it's always on whenever it's possible. So it is adaptive. The level of adaptiveness is maximized to the legal limit. But I think everyone knows, everyone has the technology of what's on the road in Europe. It's just getting those approved and appropriate.
Right.
So I think it's all about timing. It will come in time, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess this row of, what is this, 9
9
lights?
modules, slimline. So those are a combination of low and high beams. So they are always on unless, or they also dim. Depends on the environment or oncoming traffic.
Okay.
So they always work, and then I'm driving this every day, and I find it's just seamless. The performance is great. And
so they're shared responsibilities essentially, or specific modules, high, low, is there corner light as well?
They are shared to a degree. It's not that black and white, but I think the top 3 modules are mainly the low and the rest is high beam, but I need to find the technical specialist to give you an exact answer. But what's important is they look like they're on all the time, and they really complement the vertical signature right next to it.
Makes sense. And then does all this stay on while the car is driving?
Only on the nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, yeah, it's a striking car. It does look very, very Cadillac.
Great.
Any other design Easter eggs that you are proud of or excited about?
I still have to go back to the animation that Tim had done. It's just so cool.
Yeah,
so when you drive it, yeah.
We'll throw a clip of that on the screen for those watching.
Yeah. It's really inviting.
Yeah. I do want to ask too, as a designer, you know, windshield wipers are not the most visually pleasing thing, but they're necessary. But we're so used
They're tough.
we're used to them. I noticed with this one, it has kind of the left and right flowing across each other.
Yes.
Kind of like wings, reverse wings almost.
Right.
Was that, you know, who decides that? Is that engineering or design, or again, a combination?
It is definitely engineering, but that was one of the enablers for us to do this fast windshield angle.
Right.
Yeah, so I thank them, because without those, we would have to stand the windshield up, and then, you know, the snowball effect that impacts other area, and that other area impacts the rest of the car.
Yeah.
So this was a like Christmas gift from John. That, yeah, you got this wiper, you can have a slanted windshield. Yeah, the result is just
because this is one of the sleekest sloped windshields in the Cadillac lineup.
That's correct.
How much off is this from the Celestiq?
Like a degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very raked.
Yeah, if you look at Celestiq and this windshield, and then Lyric is like here.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's quite fast.
So you described Lyric as like a fist or something through the air.
That's right.
And then this is much more sleek and sporty. And obviously, the front wipers are interesting. I do like this design. I think it is cool to see them in motion.
Yes.
And I also noticed the omission of a rear wiper.
Oh yeah.
How do you? I guess, is there a certain rake to a windshield that determines that, or?
Well, we can go to
what allows that?
either one you want to go to. Yeah. So that was another enabler to maintain the cleanness here or even here. The enabler to eliminate the wiper, there are two things. One, this actually flows through. If you get underneath, you can see the air goes through here.
Right.
So the stream of air comes in here through the spoiler and down to keep the window clean enough.
Yeah.
So we don't have to have a wiper. But there are cases that it will get dirty, and for that, our team's solution was to offer the rear camera mirror 100%.
Right.
So the rear view camera in the inside, every Optiq has one, because we wanted to make sure the vision is clear.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting to see. Some cars have it, some cars don't, but it does definitely look cleaner without it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it is a good digital rear mirror, so
yeah,
at least you can get away with it that way.
Yeah, we love the simplicity without the wiper in the back.
Yeah. Okay, I have Nia Cho here.
Hi.
What is your role with Cadillac?
So I'm a CMF designer for Cadillac.
Okay, and I guess for those who don't know, what's CMF?
Oh, it's like, it stands for color, material, finishes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think of it as like a fashion designer for dressing the car, exterior and interior, yes.
Makes sense. It's probably a fun job with a car like this, which
Yes.
is trying to appeal to a wide variety of audiences. And so you kind of have, well, as we see here, interesting colors.
Yes.
I wanted to say I appreciate seeing color on the inside, the outside, because we live in a world of a lot of black and white cars.
Yeah,
Which is
totally.
fine. Those are clean. They're easy to look at.
Yes.
Matches whatever you wear.
Yeah.
But how do you, I guess, decide how to dress a car on the inside?
Yeah, I mean, as a Cadillac brand, we try to be more expressive and more like a fashion-inspired brand too. So really put a lot of like highlights on the CMF parts.
Right.
So if you see, like, we have a lot of nice embellishment on the car. See all this embroidery on the seats too. You can see all the great embroidery and embellishment. That is all like fashion inspired. Try to be more expressive and energizing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I see, a lot of times we see like maybe a leather up top and a cloth thing down below.
Totally. Yeah.
This is kind of reversed, but
Yes.
intentionally, because this is a recycled material of some sort.
Yeah, it's 100% recycled polyester yarn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called collection fabric. So that's a great point. We try to apply material in a very unexpected way. So you can see it on the door upper, you can see it in the instrument panel mid, and also you see in a console side panel as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then what determines like how many colors are allowed? I mean, and what are
it's a combination?
Well, yeah, like well, not from the customer, but like from you as designing. I mean, how much can you put into a car without pulling back? Like, did you find it challenging to limit yourself to a couple colors? Like, did you want to do so many colors and you just couldn't?
Yeah, I think it depends on like how you're pairing the color. You could like put like 5 different colors but pair it very well, or you could put just one tonal color but could like play with the texture, you know.
Right.
So it could be like color and texture balance game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
So how many different interior color combos
do we offer?
Optional on Optiq?
So we offer, this is our new color called Autumn Canyon. This is very special color. It's not really brown, it's not really orange. It's a really nice new color. And then we offer Sky Cool Gray. This is a lighter gray color. And we offer black as a base. Also, we offer Phantom Blue color. This is a nice navy blue color that we offer. So we offer 4 interior colors.
Okay.
That with the combination of the front fabric we have here.
Yeah. And they're paired uniquely with each fabric?
Yes.
Like how much customization? Like if you want this blue, then that determines what else you can kind of get?
So we don't have a customization interior, but we do pair with a couple different color options. You can see it, but we don't have a customization option for this one,
And then what was the inspiration behind this kind of wood grain?
So this one is called paperwood. This is also on Lyric. So this is made out of newspaper.
Okay.
So this has a great recycle story too.
Very cool.
That we were trying to achieve at CMF.
Okay. Very interesting. And then I guess these are more design motifs kind of embedded in, which also reminds me of the logo like we saw with the exterior of the car.
Yeah, we really try to harmonize like, you know, interior and exterior in terms of pattern, in terms of color and finishes. So this is also inspired by the Cadillac crest. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there, did you find the metal speaker grills like exciting? Was there anything new that added to the rest of the design, or is that kind of mutually exclusive? I guess with the metal speaker grills, is that like viewed as an exciting accent inside, or is that just engineering decided something and you kind of work around it?
I mean, totally interior design team designed this pattern, and also we work on the like finishes, so we do carefully choose a finish that goes well with the rest of the interior color. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the exterior and interior all cohesively exist. And can you choose, like, if I wanted, you know, the blue interior, can you pick any exterior color and you can complement that yourself, or is like a certain exterior color tied to an interior color?
I think it depends on the Lux and Sports trim level that we have. But I do believe that most of the exterior color is available with any interior color.
Very cool.
But we could double check on that too. Yes.
Very awesome. Well, nice job. It seems like a nice interior, so we're gonna go drive it now and see how it feels.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I love the newspaper thing that Cadillac has implemented into the Optiq. I wish more automakers would implement some sustainable things in their vehicle in a creative way. Like, it's nice seeing reusable cork and reusable plastic and using it for certain parts of the vehicle, but when you do something like using newspaper, like paper, and, you know, turning it into a wood grain for the vehicle, and, you know, unless you like know that, you wouldn't really be able to tell. It just looks like really nice wood. I love that. Wish more automakers would do that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. What did you learn? Let me know down in the comments below. My name is Isaiah. This is Out of Spec Bits, and I'll see you guys in the next one.